Hello. In this video, I will indicate all the information about the EMsat physics exam. First of all, the test duration, it is about 90 minutes, okay? And the content areas are the mechanics, waves and optics, thermal physics, okay, and thermodynamics, electricity and magnetism, and modern physics. The task types are multiple choice. Most of the questions are multiple choice, and some of the questions will be fill in the blank. And of course, the calculator, it is allowed. Okay, the band of the scores of the MSAT physics, it is from what? Above 1,500, which is high proficiency in physics, and to 500, which is little knowledge or basic information of science, okay, which is physics, okay. So for most of the universities, they will ask about a score which is 600, 800, or 900, or it will be above 1,000, okay. So it will depend on the university, okay. So how we will revise for this exam. So this course is about 12 lectures. In these lectures, we will study the concepts of physics, okay, which is the mechanics. Here we will study on the translational motion, rotational motion, okay, and the fluid mechanics, okay. We will study all the concepts, okay, regarding these three main ideas in mechanics, okay. And in the section of what? In the section of the waves and optics, we will focus, okay, on what? On the mechanical waves, okay, and oscillations. So we will focus on the oscillations and waves, which is mechanicals and electromagnetic waves, okay, and the optics, which is the geometrical optics and physical optics. We will study them with the concepts and with the laws, and see how to solve on them, okay. In the third part, which is the thermal physics and thermodynamics, we will focus on what? We will understand the thermal physics concepts, okay, and the thermodynamics, okay, systems, okay, and the processes and the laws, okay. In the thermal physics, we will focus our attention on the temperature scales, okay, and thermal equilibrium, thermal expansion, okay. We will study the quantity of heat and the heat capacity, calorimetry and phase changes, and mechanisms for heat transfer. And for the thermodynamics, we will focus on the ideal gas, the kinetic molecular theory of gases, and we will focus on the first law of thermodynamics and the second law of thermodynamics. Okay. And in the section of electricity and magnetism, we will focus on what? On the electric current, okay, and the static charges, magnetism, and the interaction between electricity and magnetism, which is called electromagnetism, okay. So we will focus on the electric charge, electrostatic force, electric field, okay, and the electric flux, electric potential and the potential energy, capacitors, capacitance, and dielectrics. And also we will focus on the circuits, okay, the DC circuits and AC circuits, okay, and we will focus on how to calculate the equivalent resistance and equivalent capacitance and so on, okay. And in magnetism, we will focus on the magnetic magnets and electromagnetic properties, magnetic field, magnetic flux, magnetic force, magnetic torque, and the induction laws, electromagnetic inductions, and their application, like in the transformer, okay, and the inductance and inductors, okay. In the modern physics, we will focus our attention on the theory of relativity. Okay, it contains the topics like the postulates of it, and the relativity of simultaneity, okay, and relativity of time intervals, relativity of length, relativistic momentum, mass and energy equivalence, which is the famous equation E is equal to mc squared. In the quantum physics realm and the atomic physics, we will study the black body radiation, photoelectric effect, Compton effect, matter waves, de Broglie wavelengths, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, quantum physics, and applications. Okay, So, and we will apply this to understand the atomic models and the atomic spectra. Okay. We will have some of the nuclear physics. So we will study the nuclear transformation and the nuclear structure, the nuclear radioactivity, how to make artificial transmutations, which is to induce nuclear reactions. And we will study a little bit of elementary particles and composite particles. Okay. So to understand, okay, to really understand physics, we should also revise some of the mathematics. Okay, so we'll revise quickly, okay, the arithmetics, algebra, okay, and we will revise the geometry and trigonometry, vectors, graphs, how to use graphs, okay, and finally we will revise the integration and the derivative, okay. And of course there are questions provided by the Ministry of Education. They serve as a guide for the exam questions, so we will solve them all in full detail, and we will indicate together through the 12 lecture the concepts underlying these questions. Okay, so I hope you a good luck and thank you.
المدرسة.com عيالكم عيالنا.